welcome to the first episode of Word of Mouth. I'm your co-host, Monica, and I'm here to introduce the man of the hour and the man of the series, DJ Battlecat. So, Mr. Battlecat, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm blessed, highly favored. I can't complain.
Period, right. So, I just want to give a quick summary of who you are to our viewers. I'm sure they know who you are, but just in case, we need a little synopsis, right, of who you are. So you are a legend and OG of West Coast hip-hop and G-Funk. So can you give us a little insight on that?
Yes, I've been in this game for about 30 years as a professional DJ, a writer, composer, musician, producer extraordinary, and my passion has always been a voice for the unheard and unseen.
Okay, and you've also worked with a lot of other legends as well, like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Tupac. What have you learned from working with other legends as yourself? Like, what has that taught you?
Oh, man, what I learned so much behind the scenes and in the mix with all the guys I work with was integrity, passion, discipline, obedience to that craft.
Also, what I wanted to talk about was a lot of people don't know this about you, but you're also a philanthropist that's helped a lot of the youth. Can you give us a little insight about what you do as far as like what you teach our youth, like when it comes to music and guidance?
Well, because of my early on experience with seeing how it's done, I knew education was a must, and sharing with them the hands-on physical process of learning all my equipment was important because I knew I was going to work with people who was new in the game. And
so you're pretty much saying that big support and putting that time into your craft is what helped you, and then you were able to teach that to the youth also. It's like let them know, like, hey, you need your support system, you need your education.
Yes, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. It's so necessary. Because you can only go so far with a lack of understanding and knowledge and education about this business. But it was so good that I mastered my craft, and that's what the longevity came from, and respecting and understanding all the different genres of music. DJ helped me tremendously. My mother and my father are a lover of music with 45s and 12 inches and cassettes and things of that nature, going to the VIP, going shopping with them, buying records, reading the credits, learning all the information on the back, the art, the musicians who sung, who played and produced. I looked at that now. It's called portfolio. It's your bio. It's your discography about who you are and what you do. So I was so...
like you said, what's necessary for us to learn, for us to grow from. So I like that. And actually that ties in with what I wanted to ask you is about our podcast. In what direction do you see this podcast going, and what expectations do you have for this podcast? Because you're about to drop a lot of knowledge for a lot of people. So I feel like it's only right for us to know in what direction we're heading with this.
Well, I've been told for so many years that all my information and my experience needs to be on this platform, for one. So this is like my baby right here. It's new. I talk a lot. I've been at so many places in studio settings, interacting while I'm shopping. Fans and friends who admire my work, want to get so much information from me. And what a perfect platform to display and share with the world my insight as a resource and an outlet for others who really want to be in this industry and maintain longevity and understand the principles and values of this thing called life as well. You got to have both. It's so necessary to be able to read the room and everything. I don't want to give it away, but my folks always said on my live feed on my Instagram, Cat, you know, you're giving away so many jewels, man. You know, would you be interested in doing that? You need your own podcast, or you need your own show, or your YouTube channel. So I said, you know what? Let me take this serious and really be a voice for the people like never before. So I'm finally here to give you something that you always wanted to get from me, and so this is going to be dope. This is going to be refreshing for those who want to know about California music and entertainment and everything about me.
Right, and I feel like that type of knowledge is very needed right now.
Yes.
With everything that's been going on, with how 2020 went, the start of 2021, I feel like we need that knowledge. We need that motivation from you, you know, to keep it going. So that actually follows up with my next question.
Okay.
All right, so what would you say to someone, like whether they're young, older, like they feel like giving up on their dreams because things are going, you know, really hard for them, whether it's right now because of the pandemic, because of the politics, whatever the case may be? What would you tell somebody who's giving up on their dreams?
You know, I have to be honest. You know, when you're dealing with shortcomings and people who, you know, don't see your vision, I've been discouraged. Even as a legend, I felt many times I wanted to leave things alone and go do something else. But my purpose is to be, in a sense, a hero and demonstrate and share with them how I survived through all the obstacles and things against me as a producer, you know, the game changing, the young generation not really appreciating the first foundation of what we put here. And I have children, I have nephews and nieces and fans that are inspired by me, and make sure that I never forget the contributions I have brought to the industry or just the world, period. So by them not never letting me go is what inspired me to continue and never give up.
Right.
You know, and I'm thinking at some point in time of my life that I should be doing something else where this is really truly my divine calling is to be a big brother, a father, or uncle, or a mentor to the next generation, especially having children, you know, men, you know, boys and girls, men and women, you know, that they are becoming, you know, they want this information from me and they don't want me to stop. So I will continue to be a vessel and a voice for the unheard and seen. So that's what this is. Never give up, you know. And the reason why you should never give up, because, you know, you need trials and tribulations so you can really have a self-reflection of who you really are. You know, to have it too easy, you won't appreciate things in life.
Tragedies that we have faced in 2020, right, and in the start of 2021, how were you able to keep strong and just keep pushing forward and going about your day? Because, you know, a lot of people have been so stagnant. They've fallen into depression. It's hard out here. People are not, you know, able to pay their bills. People lost their jobs, you know. So with everything going on right now, how were you able to keep pushing forward and making that strive for yourself?
Well, for one, I'm a firm believer in the Most High. You know, I come from a spiritual background. Thank goodness to my beautiful mother and father. But then I have an extended, beautiful resource, and that happened to be from my children and my wife. And we all are witnessing the same things that we're seeing. And we want answers. We want more clarity and understanding about how do we get through these times. So education is a factor, you know, researching things and not always going by word of mouth all the time if it's not solid information. You know, so we did our research on about all the things that's going on, the pandemic, the COVID, you know, that thing, how this thing really works, learning about preconditions, the mental health is just making sure you remind each other of what great contributions you have brought before this thing came, and knowing how necessary it is for those who love what you do and keeping that alive. You know, there's a lot of people that let me know through my live feed and different places that, you know, you are the truth. I wouldn't have done this if I wouldn't have seen what, you know, how you put it down and how you represent your coast, your city, your family, your friends, your peers. You know, I'm from what, if I'm not wrong, you're a 90s baby, right?
I am a 90s baby, that's true.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
I grew up with all the OG music. I grew up with it all, right?
See, when you say that to me, it gives me a more understanding that the 90s are this generation's Motown. What our Motown was what our mothers and fathers brought to us, which was the 60s and 70s and 80s, which was perfect to set up to what the 90s babies would be.
So are there any artists that you have not worked with that you would like to work with, and why?
Anderson .Paak is one. I'm a lover of musicians. I'm a drummer. He's a drummer.
Right.
He's a singer. I'm a all right singer.
Right.
I can hold a tune. Exactly. A melody here and there every once in a while. He's an artist that can rap. A lot of people don't know I'm an artist and coming out, and I can rap as well. I just love everything about him. He's the new extension of a legendary artist and musician himself, and that's Phil Collins. He's the Phil Collins of our generation.
Wow, and that's really important that you say that.
Yeah, you seen someone who was in the 80s,
right?
And I haven't seen a musician like that since then till now. Within the last 3 years, I think this gentleman been out, and inspired. So I was so grateful that Dre put his eyes on him and gave him a platform so we all, the whole world, could see him. Another artist, I say, that's crazy. Wow, that's crazy. I wish he was here. I would say Roger Troutman, because I was inspired to be a voice for my community through the art and instrument of a talk box. Peter Frampton was the first, and Rufus from Shaka Khan was the first I ever heard the sound of a talk box. And that's something I use to be who I am as a great musician and a vocalist. Let me see. In R&B, I would say, maybe Chris Brown.
Hey, I love old school Chris from when he was 16 up until now. That's
Chris
a good
Brown.
one, right?
Chris Brown. But I love his work. I love his voice. I love how he has affected my generation and my children in the new generation as well. So someone who has that magic like that, to bridge the gap.
Exactly, because he can bring everybody together.
Yes,
and you know who else too? Bruno Mars.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
I noticed my mom, she's in her 60s, and me and my mom can both jam to some Bruno Mars. And it's crazy, okay? So it's like Chris Brown and Bruno Mars, they did that. They were able to bring in everybody together. When you go to parties, when you are at home, and you see everybody just joyous and happy to listen to the same music, you're just like, wow, it's amazing.
Rihanna is another
one too.
Beautiful spirit.
Yes.
She holds herself together well in entertainment and in her personal life. It's funny how I mentioned the two, Chris and Rihanna, but it's quite a few. You know, Stevie Wonder, from a musician and an artist point of view. What he did for me as a musician touched me. I didn't know he was a drummer until later. I didn't know he was a musician or drummer, or this period for Motown, like how Marvin Gaye was. And so, just to name a few.
Right, and all those artists are honestly just as amazing, right?
Yes.
Every one of them have their own unique style, their own unique way of bringing out that light into the music.
Yes.
So that's for sure. So what's a typical day in the day of DJ Battlecat?
What's the typical day of the brand of DJ Battlecat? Since you mentioned in Battlecat, is I'd make sure that the person behind the brand and the face of Battlecat is well groomed with education. When I wake up in the morning, I'm always giving praise and loving my wife, and she's my partner and friend, and my children. They are a voice for me. They're inspiration. I pull from them. I look for their smiles. I look for everything from them, their imperfection and perfection. I love it both, because it's insightful for me to start my day in a way where wherever they need from me or whatever I can give, I'm going to be that source. Good breakfast, good conversation. My goals at hand is just to be a better person. I'm tapping into my actions every day. I'm practicing what I say and how I say it, my tone, my expression, all that, because that's important to be transparent and be approachable.
Right. Yeah. No, and I see that because even with the classic music that we've had in the 80s and the 90s with all the rap music, I felt like, as you said, it was just to create an identity for the people in the hood, because we were just looked at as, uneducated.
Yes.
They ain't going nowhere. The only way that they can make it is through music or basketball or through playing some type of sport. Mm-hmm. And I felt like what you and Snoop Dogg and a whole bunch of other countless of artists did was create a story like, hey, it's more than just that. Like, Tupac was a teacher.
Yes.
Like, it gives me chills.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
He was a teacher. He was more than just that 90s OG rapper. Like, he really was out here giving us a word. He was preaching to us.
Wow.
I didn't think I was ever going to connect to something until I really sat down and I listened to Keep Your Head Up.
Wow.
That song resonated with me so much.
Wow.
Because as a single mom, it's hard. It's hard out here. And,
yes,
it's crazy.
I can definitely relate to it. My mother was that as well. Even though I had my father, but in the same household, she was predominantly the one that laced my chucks. And I understand that, when you got an artist that can reflect to family issues, life issues, then more than the fame and the fast life and the partying and all that. It's cool to celebrate, but then when we need something, when we need a message, when we need a word, when we need some type of game or whatever, just to have us take another look and perspective about life or wherever we going and what we want to do in life is so important.
Mm-hmm. Now, are there any other projects that you're working on or any new music that you're working on currently?
Yes, I have a new single that I put out last year, that went into this year. It's called They Can't Tame Us. Mm-hmm. It's the extension of what I did in the early 90s when I did the Banging on Wax, which was Bloods and Crips coming together. And I wanted to get these unique artists and gentlemen out of these different neighborhoods to showcase unity and intelligence and resilience of them not procrastinating and genocide and perpetuating the same thing that we've been seeing for years. So I went and grabbed Glasses Malone, Sebastian, Snoop, 211, and Rucci. And they both come from the Crip and Blood culture, but they are very successful, intelligent men. And I wanted to showcase unity and intelligence like never before. So that record's been brewing and making noise for me, and it was inspired by the record we did with Snoop Dogg on his last year album called I Want to Thank Me. We did a record called One Blood, One Cuz, put them all together. You Got One Love, which was inspired by the legendary group Houdini, and God bless Ecstasy, one of the main vocals and members and co-founders of the group. We wanted to show our inspiration from the East, the South, and the West that this is something that is a must. We must not let the dream that Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or any other leader that inspires. We want to keep that alive, and then we lost Nipsey as well. So we wanted to speak on how we can make a change if we just come together. And the ones who care and respect and that we touch, we've, embraced the record. So I was glad. And it's almost gold, just to let everyone know, without promotions, we did that. So this, off the parties involved, it created an incredible buzz. Then we have D-Smoke. I got down on his album last year, and we got nominated for a Grammy for that album this year. So I'm so happy to be a part of that. What else? I got my album. I'm an artist. I have an album and a half almost done. I've been inspired to be an artist for a long time. I've been behind the scenes.
But you know all the jacks and trades to it, though. It's crazy because you really know everything. You know the inside and the outside of it. So that's what makes it unique for you. Yes.
So to add to more to what you just said, though, my brother Maestro, a little young lady named Heaven, Yasel. Man, it's so much stuff that I'm doing. Some great things with 1500 or nothing. I'm actually, after the day, I'm going to be heading out to work with Puffy Combs. He got some unique things going on. T.I., working with him, through Mars, who eventually we're going to have on the show. And, man, I just got my hands in the right things. Harry O is home, who is the executive and one of the co-founders of this death row sensation and movement. He's back home. So me and Snoopy and Harry O got some unique things in entertainment and film. I'm into the film side of things, so I can't wait for people to see me scoring actually movies and things of that nature. I have a beautiful documentary as well. I think it's coming in 4 phases. And this dope new podcast I'm putting together as well, called Word of Mouth, on my girl Monica here with me. So
we got this
that's gonna be dope, So I just got a slew of things that make so much sense now that I just want to bring in one big pot. So it's a gumbo full of goodies, and I can't wait for you guys to get a bowl and a taste of this greatness.
Right, that's a lot of work. A lot of work we're putting in, right?
Yes, indeed.
So that actually follows up with this other question I got for you. So what does success mean to you? And what are the attributes that creates a successful person? And it doesn't matter in what industry or what they do.
What success means to me is peace, love, and wealth.
Wow.
Because with no peace and no love, you won't have wealth. You won't have life. You won't have all your dreams that you desire. Or the integrity of that is to really pay attention to the people who made history.
That's
and
amazing.
to keep history alive and healthy and relevant to this next generation. Love is key.
That is very true. It's crazy because my dad, that's the one thing he told me. He said, you want to know how you made it in life? If you can look around and you're peaceful where you're at.
Yes.
Like, you don't have that anxiety to figure it out. You ain't stressing about anything. It's when you are actually happy and you're at peace. He's like, that's when you know that you have made it.
You're right. People's testimony, and when you can be a witness to anyone's experience, you can't say that that's not me or I don't have that capability to do so. You do, and when others can see the strength in you more than you can, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Just, give yourself a chance. That part. And be courageous, and just really study your own yourself and your behavior and your surroundings. If you've been doing things so long on your own understanding, and you see the results you're getting is very slim, then that's I think those are one of the signs that you should give that a break, starve that a little bit more, and really take into effect, what really counts. Right. So education is a factor. Never stop learning.
And reaching out to people, because we always swear we know everything ourselves.
Oh, man.
Right.
I was one of them. I'm not even going to lie.
That are young, right? We always think we know everything.
Man, it's embarrassing when you get in, when you run into a dead wall and you get exposed easily, and wherever it's going to land when you're going to be exposed, you know, you got to learn how to be forgiving, you know, and that's one thing I'm so heavy on, is learning to respect the power of loving yourself and learning how to let go and forgive and go forward in life like never before, because to carry these bad habits and ways into the future, it's really disrespectful to your divine order and being here on earth. You know, you really can get in the way. Learn how to get out the way, but learn to be in the mix. Right.
You telling it how it is, because honestly, like, I feel like that's what we need, is somebody to bring us to our understanding, because we swear, like, we know what all the behind the scenes are, or what we need to do, what the plan is, but we don't know anything until we really get in there and we start looking around like, oh, where am I at?
Yes.
Like, I'm lost. Now what do I do?
Yes.
Right? So I feel like actually this podcast is what's actually going to help a lot of people who feel that way, because I feel like what you're bringing to the table is what's very needed. You know, that knowledge, because you've been through it all.
Yeah. I've been through it enough.
Right.
and all that I have experienced.
Exactly.
Because there's more new to learn.
Right.
And I will be going through life with less bumps and whatnot, because of the information I have obtained.
What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in this industry, in the music industry?
A lack of understanding. Like I said, not reading the room correct, and going on your own understanding. And it definitely will put you in a place of shame and embarrassing moments, you know what I'm saying? So I think what it is now is that we got a generation now that feels like they really want to educate themselves on a whole nother level so they can help us, because it's been, you know, legends in the game who have got a second chance or third chance from the young generation. You know, looking at our past and having compassion and respect for who we are, and saying, you know what, if I ever get a chance to work with that guy, I'm going to give him something that no one else never gave him.
Right.
I'm kind of lightweight experiencing that right now with the next generation. So I'm truly blessed and honored that you guys have embraced me, kept my music in others' ears and faces, in your DJ sets, in your clubs, in your skating rings, in your backyard parties, or, you know, birthday celebrations. I'm very honored and grateful that you guys love me that way, because what it does is inspires me to keep going and continue to give you what you need.
Right. And so last but definitely not least, I wanted to ask you, what do you expect of me in our podcast? What is your expectation of me?
Now, I always wanted a sister with me that I can have coexist with me and being an extension to the next young generation. So what I expect from Monica is to give her all and her heart from a personal and a professional point of view, because survival is so necessary. And so I'm inspired by your presence, your beauty, your principles.
Thank you.
Your goals. I feel like, you know, it's a partnership that I always wanted, and I have it through my children, and I can inspire them to be a part of this and involved with, like, what you doing, you know. So
thank you.
The my generation and the younger generation is so necessary, and this is how we bridge the gap, you know what I'm saying? She's a 90s baby, and my career started in the 90s, so she's going to be a reflection of what I want to convey to this new generation. So I appreciate having you a part of this new journey. You know what I'm saying? Word of mouth podcast. Let's go. Let's get it.
We getting it right now.
We're gonna give it
today. To right. Period. We got this one down in pack. That's it.
Yes. I want to give a big shout out to Morris Media Studio as well for giving me this time and day and platform. Felicia, the Poetess, I love you. big sis, you've been an inspiration for us for many, many, many years, and this is like my first opportunity to express myself this way, and I look forward for you being my teacher and guiding and coaching us through this whole new journey.
Right, and I'm grateful for Lisa for bringing us together.
Oh man, come on, Lisa,
man.
Come on now, and man,
right.
Pulsar Entertainment, man, she really is the pulse of a great business and opportunities. She's a blessing. I'm glad that I have a childhood friend that I went to school with, and I never knew that she was going to be the one to help take my next journey and chapter of my life.
Right.
New Shoes Entertainment, you know, she's been instrumental in that, and the fact now that I have 4 to 5 beautiful women now administrating the new chapter and level of DJ Battlecat is crazy, you know, to have that, because then it's showing another side of me. And I just say Felicia too, so she's like, it's like the Jackson 5s. I got the Jackson 5s of the women of entertainment and business now, and I'm glad to be the one to give them this level of greatness now, you know, through my eyes, through my voice, you know, because I love women and I respect women, and we need to show on all many platforms how resilient and the blessing that you have been to us, and it's not enough that they need to hear this, so let's go.
Right, period. And we got this.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful for you.
Partner.
I'm very grateful for you.
Yes.
All right. Wow. Well, this concludes our first episode on word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Period. Yeah,
Let's go.
It just feels so good to say it, too.
Yes.
It feels so powerful, like word of mouth.
Come
right.
On. Yes.
But all right, stay tuned, y'all.
Stay tuned.